Hey guy, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about the guy that actually predict the Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency, more specifically, 10 years actually before it's get invented, right? So Bitcoin appeared in 2009, and these guys that we talk about today, he predict the Bitcoin 10 years before, which it was in 1999. So I'll show you some clip about him, which I find on the internet, and yeah, I want to do this video because I think bring value to you guys, and also it's a person that I admire, and I study his philosophy, how he approach business, how he thinks about business, and all the stuff like that. So let's get into the video. Okay, how as you can see here, guys, the Bitcoin is absolutely being hammered in the last few weeks, few months, let's say. So from 62 to 35. So yeah, I'm not a Bitcoin investor now, but who knows. So the guys that we talking about, it's this guy right here, Peter Thiel. And a little bit of context about him. He's a German American entrepreneur. He was born in Germany, and yeah, he moves in America. Here is on his Wikipedia what Wikipedia talks about him. Obviously, if you want to do some more research, you can type in Peter Thiel on the Wikipedia, and you'll find who is he. But I want to give you a little bit of context. He's more notoriously known for the creator of the PayPal, which is, I think everybody of you know PayPal, and together with Elon Musk, notoriously Elon Musk, that recently became the richest person in the world, and with other guys that like the inventor of YouTube, that the platform that you watch in this video right now, together with them and other guys, they been in and they create PayPal. So yeah, also he was been one of the first investor in Facebook, as you can see here. Facebook first outside investor when he acquired 10% for $500,000 in 2004, and he resold, I don't know if the entire stake, but he sold the majority of his share in Facebook for over 1 billion in 2012. So these guys, this guy know how to do business, how to invest, all the stuff like that. And you also have a book called 0 to 1. I will show you up here. I strongly suggest to read that book if you know about more his business philosophy and stuff like that. But anyway, let's discuss the video. That so as you can see here, he was very young, and he given this speech on somewhere, I don't know where, but let's see how he talking about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency.
And one of the questions is, how do you move from these physical dollars to electronic dollars? I think the basic technology is going to take place on the internet. I think the specific platform in the emerging world is going to be on a cell phone platform. If you look at the numbers, there are about 360 million, about 150 million online desktop-based accounts today. That number is projected to grow to about 350 million in the next 5 years. However, with respect to cell phones, internet-enabled cell phones are just getting...
As you can see here, the camera is shaking like the old video on the tape was recorded. So it's clearly an authentic video. It's not fake or something or anything like that. And also remember, guys, in 1999, if you ask the majority of the people, they didn't know what even internet was. No, I don't say everybody, but the majority of the population didn't know what internet is. So, and this guy predicting the the cryptocurrency of the internet, it's completely boom, mind blowing.
Rolled out right now. They already have some significant penetration in Japan, in Finland, in Sweden. They're getting rolled out in Western Europe, the US next year. The numbers are projected to grow from about 10 million internet-enabled cell phones today to about 1 billion in 5 years. In 5 years from now, everybody who is a member of the middle class in the emerging world and in the developed world will have an internet-enabled cell phone.
I remember like in 2005, I was in Italy. I don't remember too many people having phone with internet access. And in 2005, there was some phone with internet, but they didn't work very well. They was still with the buttons. They will have to push the button. So I don't know if it was really 1 billion. Maybe there was, but I don't think in 2005 people there was 1 billion people that actually use actively the internet from their mobile phone. Maybe to check some emails and stuff like that, but I don't know if it was too many, or maybe I'm wrong, but from what I can remember, this is.
And this sort of in China, the number is projected to go to something like 300 million cell phones, most of which will be internet enabled. These people will have access to their bank accounts, and it will be very easy for them to move money into an account in a safe jurisdiction where the banks are not politically controlled, and they will basically be able to completely dollarize the economy. There will be no need to have any rubles or renminbi, and it will be non-traceable. No matter how illegal the Chinese Communist government says it is to hold US dollars, you will have a password on your cell phone, and the only...
Boom. Is what actually happened later on and this year when China starting or they try to start to crack down on Bitcoin and trying to make it illegal to have the Bitcoin or to have any cryptocurrency. And I think one of those news that they starting to crash the Bitcoin as well, but you simply can't stop it. And Peter Thiel explained here in this clip very well why you can't stop this market.
The only way to stop this process would be literally to shut down the telecommunications network, and
that's it. If you want to stop the cryptocurrency, you have to shut down the internet. You have to go make those companies that provide internet to stop them doing that. It's the only way. There's no other way. That's it, because you have your password, you have your wallet. How do they prove that you even have the Bitcoin if you don't give them the password? Or if, I mean, that's it. It's as simple as that. You can't stop this market.
The kind of choice governments like China, India, some of these other countries are going to face. They will either have to shut down the telecommunications network and make it illegal for you to own a cell phone, or they will have to basically give up the kind of monetary sovereignty they've had and the enormous power that they've been able to wield as a result of this kind of sovereignty over the last many years. And I think this process is already full-fledged. The dollarization worldwide is going to be accelerated enormously by the technology. Now, the second theme is a little bit more speculative, and that is that.
So we are clear from now, and it's what happening kind of right now in 2021. Like I say, China trying to crack down on Bitcoin, no chance. You can't stop them. You have to shut down the internet altogether in order to be able to do that. And I think the world is going to go to this towards this cryptocurrency. I'm not saying all are good, but I think those major ones are okay. Most of them probably the other one that been invented like in the last 6 months because of this hype. They are completely scam, but those major one are okay. and I think the world slowly will use it to make payments and stuff like that. So in the next part here, he will say, he actually say was is more speculative. What he's saying is basically is speculating about it. So let's hear from him.
Getting rid of money altogether, going from digital dollars, from any kind of government-backed currency to purely private currencies. And what a private currency or private money, I think, fundamentally means is that there is no medium of exchange. You exchange value for value rather than exchanging value for something the government says has value for value. And whenever you have this intermediate step of the government saying something has value, that's where you have the subterfuge, the sort of leger de main come in, the game of musical chairs, where every now and then a chair gets pulled out, and it turns out that you're the one holding a dollar bill that's all of a sudden become worth a little bit less.
Is not can be more right than that. In the world, what has happening? All the government, they print money in the last year more they did in the last 20 years, and they give those grants, those cheap loans, those everything. Where do those money come from? They simply print it. Nobody create any value for that money. Nobody wake up and go to work. Nobody did nothing. Just push a button, turning on the printing press, and boom, money. And those technically, in my opinion, are fake money. Are you, you can do it with your own printing. You can print money, but if you do it, is illegal. If the government do it, is not illegal. So if you didn't see, the price of everything in the last 12 months skyrocketed, everything. And this is the reason why, because your money that are printed are worthless, or they worth every time less and less because are more money in circulation, and government actually screws you up. So Peter Thiel here say he make very good point. We exchange value for value, not paper that government it's they like to here in English put the face queen on it. It's technically paper, now are plastic, and they say, oh, this paper piece is worth this amount. So it's not.
And the kind of exchange of value for value, the classic model would have been some sort of a barter model. That obviously has enormous transaction costs associated with it. These transaction costs go down in a digital age. And the kind of model that I think is the most likely to take place is one where you have other kinds of financial instruments that are very, very liquid. The one I would cite in the U.S. would be something like an index on the S&P 500. Or some sort of generalized stock market index, where instead of having currency as being the place where you have value, it is in real property, real companies, things that actually have real value. And so that you might conduct business by trading not dollars, but trading little slivers of the S&P 500 or of particularly large stocks like Microsoft or something like that. My guess is that it might be the whole stock market as a whole, and that as you trade these things, that's where you have the kind that becomes in effect a de facto currency. Now,
this is like you say, it's very speculative, but it's still right. Those company, they produce they produce value. So Microsoft, probably you watching on the Windows phone PC, it's value for you because it's enable you to access internet, to use the computer and stuff like that. So this is something valuable, and people maybe will realize that. And if I own these shares, why would I exchange them in paper, in fiat money, and give it to you for, I don't know, my living necessity, when I can give you straight away the shares, and you will accept it because there are valuable things, right? So here is still speculation. This didn't happen in 2021 now, or I mean, probably it will happen in the future, who knows, but is not been. I never seen nobody's starting to exchange shares or market indexes shares for goods and service. So still, if you go to the shop, they want the money.
Now, this is still pretty far-fetched, but it is not quite as far-fetched as you might think. And just as we've had people in Russia replace rubles with dollars, we have had people in the U.S. replace dollars with equity. And over the last 20 years, one of the very big sort of financial debates that takes place is whether the U.S. equity market is wildly overvalued or whether it's at a fair value or undervalued or anything like that. And one of the things people often talk about in making judgments about whether the equity market is overvalued is something called the risk premium on stocks. What is the expected return on equity over government bonds? And for much of the 20th century, the risk premium has been enormous. It's been something like 7-8% in the 1930s, 1940s, and even a decade ago it was still 4 or 5%. You expected to earn 4 or 5% more on equity than on bonds, and that's why they were priced. Today,
Yeah, he was telling that on equity on the company is more risk, which is absolutely true because those company can go bankrupt and you will lose your entire investment. Which if you buy government bonds, the government can't go bankrupt because if he doesn't have enough money to repay you, he will print the money and they will give it to you. So you expect a bigger return on the if you invest in a company than into the government bonds, because this simple reason: company cannot print money; they have to make profit. Government doesn't; they can't print money. This is a simple equation that he's talking about.
hey, the risk premium on equity has gone down to about 2%. And so people are saying they're not much more risky than government bonds. Now, if we really carry this digital argument to its conclusion, there will come a day at which the risk premium might be zero. If you actually look at the volatility in price, it's about the same. There's a strong theoretical reason for suggesting the risk premium should be zero, and maybe it should even be negative. Maybe at the end of the day, companies like Microsoft and McDonald's and Intel and the whole conglomeration of companies has more intrinsic value than any given government, even the U.S. government. So that if you believe that that sort of trend is going to take place, we are already starting to see this kind of displacement. And again,
Yeah,
it's always a question of whether you.
yeah, this will happening like in the cryptocurrency if it's coming to be true and people starting not to trust anymore the fiat currency that government issue, and you will start I don't know, buying shares of Microsoft with bitcoins, then the money will be out of the equation. So that's a risk negative because actually you'll have risk buying shares with cryptocurrency than actually holding the bonds of the government will be risky, because can happen that after the period and government, let's say they want to print their money to give it back to you, because it's how bonds work. 10 years bond, after 10 years they have to give you money back, and they print the money and they give it to you back and you say, no, sorry, I want bitcoin, I don't want your money. And they say, no, you want the money or nothing, and you've been screwed, right? Because you have to accept this paper that is worthless, nobody want it anymore, and you waste 10 years and now you have worthless paper, when you, with the money that you got 10 years prior, you could exchange it in bitcoins and buy shares of Amazon, Microsoft, wherever, and now those shares will worth more, and people may start accepting it like as a medium of exchange, like he's saying, like a currency, right? That's why I say negative risk. So basically, it's no chance that you can't lose money, right?
You want to impute this particular explanation to it, but I think it is one interpretation of what's been happening with the equity markets is that they're basically starting to function as currency. And of course, this is the way people talk about stocks all the time, is that it's driven by liquidity, it's driven by people putting money into stocks, all of these things, because that's where people perceive the true value to really reside.
So yeah, guys, hopefully you understand how a little bit more about what I'm trying to explain to you here about the government that is not very honest with their money, with the money policy. I don't think that the second variant that he say will become true very soon, because I don't know, you can't go buy grocery with the shares of I don't know, Shell or any other company, because they want steal money. But who know, maybe company that will accept shares in the future. And yeah, but about Bitcoin, he absolute crushing it. He was completely right, 100% in like what happening now in 2021. Actually, 22 years after this interview, is he predicted exactly. So I'm super mind blowing by him. That's why I like this entrepreneur here, this guy Peter Thiel. I think he's extremely smart guy, and yeah, I will keep studying him, what he done, or maybe I will make future videos, because he also is as you can see here, the co-founder of Palantir, which I own a lot of shares of Palantir. Maybe I will try to do some more video about Palantir in the future, and to explain you this company to you guys. So anyway, this was it for today. Hopefully you enjoy it, and if you enjoy it, smash that like button and subscribe. Also, if you want to give me a follow, I'll leave my social media links in the description. You can follow me there on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you want. So yeah, thank you very much guys for watching, and I see you in the next time. Bye bye.